Potter's Journal Fall 2019. So many barriers, hoops to jump through, getting ready for a first big artist market. A booth is one of them. Here's something I used back in the 80s through the mid-90s. It was meant to hang paintings on originally, my watercolors. There's some old barns. Let's see, some snow scenes from a ski trip. And just some trees. So this opened up like this, and see, the paintings were just hung, framed on there. But when I went to starting to do pottery, just put boards through here and set the pottery on there. But I've had these sitting out, selling wreaths off of them at Christmas, and they're in pretty rough condition. I got a booth from another artist that maybe I can refurbish here, another potter. So it's kind of in rough shape too. We're going to see what I can do with this. I might work both of these along and see what we come up with in the end. So yeah, and one more hoop to jump through here. These things sat in a garage for decades. They are covered with dust. I put them under an old rubber tarp, and I think it was so deteriorated that it dripped and leaked the decomposing rubber tarp material all over them. It turned my hands black. I don't know what to do except maybe a coat of paint stain will make a little bit of consistency from one part of this mismatched wood to the other. Yeah, so moving pots now back from the historic village, volunteering there for a week, building for that show, another $1,000 worth of inventory I managed to get made. And it is always a trick transporting it in the back of the truck. I just put these things kind of lip to lip and move them back like that. You never know when you may hit the wrong pothole or go over the railroad tracks too fast. But I found this, scaffolding cart, so I can paint my ceiling now without going up and down a little ladder so much. But good shelf for the pottery too, moving it around. If only the path in my studio was wide enough to use it. But you know, while this is outside, it's a good time to go over with a scrub and get any rough edges that a couple of these did get, rubbed a little bit on the way back, so I'm smoothing and evening that out. But it's a very productive week. I usually have more fun with the other artisans at the village. This year it was a little more strictly business, so I'll start looking forward to next year. And you know, it's great sanding this stuff off outside, leaving all this dust out here. I didn't use a template on these today to get a more elaborate pattern because I am just trying to right now to get numbers, but not to let the throwing and the form get out of hand either. But you know, it's one thing making the inventory. I did get one trick pot, I guess we'll say, made. One thing getting the inventory made, but another entirely the firing. That's where things can still go wrong. I'm very anxious about that yet. A week to go yet, less than a week now before the big show. I still have work to do on the booth. I still have to put up a special tent. Can't use my own tent. It is getting close now. There's the expenses, a sign yet. I still have a number of firings to do. I don't know if we're going to make it, but some things won't. I did make a few big ones, so we'd have upper high-end items. I don't know that they're going to get done. Here's something that it might, they might not make it till the next show or the next fair, but slowly getting a little bit of everything fired, and things are piled and stacked one on top of the other. I ran out of shelves, so we're one on top of the next, and I'm still going to get about 3 more firings in yet, so it can happen. Okay, and if it looks like I put paneling in around my kiln room, this is the booth that I was just drying out the wood because it had to be scrubbed and hosed down with because it was covered with mud. So that was drying out here by the kiln last night. Next firing. Let's see what's in the kiln today. I wouldn't want to think about buying this lumber new. And I hate cutting an extra bit off, but I do want to standardize the size of it. I needed a new blade for this thing, and I couldn't afford that, but look at that. I found the same model for $10 at flea market. And for the most part, this is really reality for most potters, the way you really have to do it. Okay, it's hard to imagine even the best of us able to buy everything in this. This is the easy part, refurbishing this old booth. I've been working for 2 weeks on the phone. So now you've taken it. We discovered I can take credit cards, but it doesn't make a call. You took it how many places? What did you...
4 places today.
Oh, no.
And, we might actually have service at the moment.
Oh.
We didn't at the greenhouse, though.
Okay. Well, what kind of things did they tell you? What did they tell you?
It's possibly, it could be a bad SIM card.
Okay, that's something that's in the phone that gets changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be that you just don't have service here.
Huh, but your phone does.
Everybody's
phone has service here but mine.
I have Sprint.
Okay, so it might be that I need a different carrier.
Yes. But how every other carrier can work here, but
mine
doesn't make sense.
Well, this is why I went for 20 years without ever owning a phone. So, do I need to try to get a new SIM card? I don't have to go back to where I bought it, do I? Because that was in the North Hills.
No, you can take it.
Yeah.
I went to Best Buy was the last place I was at.
Okay, we have a Best Buy in this area.
Yeah.
So that if I want to return it, I don't have to go back to the North Hills.
No.
Okay. Okay, well, this is why I never wanted to own one of those things. Oh, this has just been the worst, and this is no joke. This is something I've lived without, and I can keep living without. Here we go. Figured out how to take credit cards. I've figured out how to text, but we haven't been able to make calls, except for in the store when the guy's watching, because that's the only place we've had service. Did he say what TFW means?
You know what, I didn't ask, because that's the only time it was working, was when it said that at the top.
Yeah. And after all this excitement, I'm so, yeah, I could forget, okay, contacts, and, oh no, or what do I want to do? I want to call. Is that what I'm hitting?
You just want to hit the red button to
Okay.
shut it off.
So we do finally have service for the first time. And it's ringing. Hello? Is it ringing on your phone? Can I hear you? Oh, I don't believe this. This is the first call. I've had it for 2 weeks. Okay, thanks. Another bisque. Okay, this has been the part I don't mind. I'm getting ready for this show. Didn't refurbish my booth, but refurbishing another artist's old booth. There have been so many hoops to jump through for this show. I can't even believe I was going to do it. I guess the biggest hoop was the clothing, since I wouldn't wear an authentic costume, finding clothes that I would wear that would pass. But the booth, that wasn't too bad. I actually, colonial theme show, I had to borrow a friend's tent. You can't even use your own tent. Another hoop to jump through. Clothes, yeah. The big one for me was a mobile phone I never owned. So that's like jumping through 10 hoops if you never used one of those. And the card thing to swipe it, another 5 hoops to jump through. Expenses, well, the normal stuff, there'll be travel, booth, food, gasoline, but business cards, I mean the paints to refurbish this bench. A sign, you know, that we can't even use our own sign. It needs to be made out of wood and specifications. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something with paper. I found an old sign laying around that would, if it wasn't on plywood, would pass, but that's contemporary plywood. I am going to take plants, and I will do a video from the festival. For my true thoughts, though, I'll use a certain politeness there that my grandmother called good manners. But even wrapping stuff, you know, paper and a little jug that may cost $50. Can you put it in newspaper in a bag that says Giant Eagle that's been, you know, on its second use? I found a few that were clear, but I picked up stacks of sketch pads that I guess had been damaged by a little bit of water, but they're completely clean. So that'll be, maybe I can use a neater wrapping and use those Giant Eagle bags. So let's see. Yeah, the pots and the firing. $4,000 worth of pots and firing. That was the easy part. But even there's a lot of hoops to jump through. There is so much, you know, in our craft that we have to get right. And then when it comes to, you know, things like the firing, so much that seems to be out of our control. It's not easy being a potter. Oh no, I forgot I need to demonstrate at this show too. I still have to throw some plates that I thought I'd do some long drawn out sgraffito sketches through. So that's only the that's only the hoops to jump through that I put on my sketch on my list here. So we'll see how this goes.